I'm Claire Taylor-Evans, and I am champion of the firm's Gender, Diversity and Inclusion Group. And I feel passionately that women need to be supported and encouraged.
International Women's Day is an opportunity for us to celebrate some of the amazing achievements that women have accomplished. And I'm proud to say that Boys Turner have many examples of women reaching their full potential. But that doesn't mean that there isn't more work to be done. It's also an opportunity for us to reflect on our progress and strive to work harder to make sure that everyone reaches their true potential.
Inspiring inclusion is when you include different people, regardless of their race, ethnicity, sexual orientation. It's looking at things through a different lens, and a lens that wouldn't be your own perspective, and learning from other people's experiences. Inspiring inclusion comes from listening to people, because as much as you might think you know someone's experiences, you won't know them until you've heard them. And we can't learn and progress until we've listened to everybody.
To me, inclusion is about freedom and it's also about choice. In terms of inspiring inclusion, I think particularly in the workplace, it's really about giving people opportunities, giving people access to things that they need to have those freedoms and have those choices. Also, it's about being equitable with that. So it's not necessarily about equality. I think it's really important to be equitable. So different people need different things and perhaps need access to different things to really fulfill their potential in what they're trying to do in the workplace.
The problem is that the world of work historically, or certainly pre-COVID, was 9 to 5 in the office. And that doesn't work when women have predominantly the lion's share of caring and childcare responsibilities. They're essentially trying to work in a system that wasn't designed with them in mind, and they're set up to fail. As a result, a lot of women decide that they'll sacrifice their career or limit themselves in some way. And this, again, feeds directly into the gender pay gap and limitations on women progressing to leadership roles.
One of the worst barriers I think that women face is their own self-limitations. We all have a little voice inside us telling us that we're not good enough or we're not worthy of a place at the table. And some people are better at silencing that inner critic than others. We also need to be really mindful of unconscious bias. In my work as an employment lawyer, I see many examples of conscious and unconscious bias. And only by educating ourselves and challenging ourselves and asking difficult questions can we seek to understand this. I would say, make sure you shout loud about your achievements and make sure that you are your own best advocate.
I would say to young girls in particular that careers are not gendered, to not let society's terminology of a career deter you from pursuing it, such as policeman or serviceman. That failure in life is perfectly normal and you won't learn unless you fail. I would say to seek out female leadership, even if it's not in your career path, to see how those women have succeeded and how they got to those positions. And I would say it's really important to find a champion. It doesn't have to be a female champion, but someone who will push you, challenge you, and support you.
Men can help achieve gender equality by showing solidarity with women, by calling out microaggressions when they see and hear them, and remembering that roles both domestically and professionally are not gendered.
I think it's also important to remember that championing or supporting one group doesn't mean excluding another. The rise of women doesn't mean the fall of men. We should all be striving to ensure that women reach the highest echelons in the organisation.
And I think for men it's about thinking about the role that we can play in promoting equitable opportunities for women, but it's also thinking about the role that we play in wider society. So things like caring responsibilities, things like parenting. What roles are we taking on, particularly in the workplace, but more generally as well? It's about challenging things. So it could be, for example, if you look around you and you're in a room full of men, it's asking why. And it's asking whether that needs to be changed, and if so, how can that be changed? If you see or recognise some form of discrimination. I think it's calling that out. It's being brave with that as well, and making sure that you don't just sit back and allow things to happen around you. And it's about really challenging the status quo and making sure that you're looking at opportunities for women and being mindful about that in every aspect of the work that you're doing.
This is not just a women's problem, it's a society problem. And this is why male allyship is so important. We all need to strive to ensure that women are treated as equals and can reach their true potential for the sake of ourselves, our businesses, and for our future generations.